I'm doing something that I don't do very often. I'm working on my website today. I had two websites, and the second one was on electronics. Didn't have very much stuff on there. I had the idea of putting it up 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought I would occasionally put a project on there, usually one that I had already done. And I managed to get 7 on there before I completely ran out of time for doing that kind of thing. So I just let it sit there. And then, it's sitting there. It makes a little bit of money from the ad revenue, but not enough anymore to cover the hosting fees. So what I did was I moved everything over to my main website, and I shut down that one. So I'm just finishing up some stuff here, amongst other things. So, let me say about my website. My website has got tons of projects. I have these two audiences, I guess you could say. The YouTube audience and then the website audience. And then the YouTube audience is way more than the website one, which I would like to change, but there's a difference in the content. You can look at videos, you can do basically anything in videos, whereas you really need to be a little bit more selective with the website content, or at least I try to be anyway. I make lots of videos on junky stuff, and I don't make a website article to go along with it, because I don't have anything extra to add. So there's that. I wanted to talk a little bit about the video I posted this morning on my Red channel. That's the last of that type on that channel. I, put a plug in for this channel, actually, telling everybody if they enjoy that kind of thing, to come here. And I specifically made it that way, that long, rambling, not much happening way, to weed out the people that don't appreciate that kind of stuff. Because over here on this channel, I only want the people that appreciate that kind of stuff, that can tolerate that kind of thing, actually. People act like you owe them minimum quality of video, and that you're supposed to be putting out on a timely manner. It's almost like they're paying for it when they're not paying anything for it. I know some people believe that if they watch an ad, they're paying for it, but they're not really. Paying for it is when you take money out of your pocket. So the best advice for those types of people, and I'll admit that it's that sounds harsh, me saying that type of people, when it's actually a pretty common human trait to get invested in something, or a producer of content or whatever, and expect to get a certain level of quality, or the type of video that you want to see all the time. So it's the best thing I can say is just pretend that video doesn't exist, and you'll be okay. Back when I was doing doors and hardware, one of my favorite situations was, my least favorite actually, was when I'd be working on a door and somebody would try to get through, because I'd have all my gear set up, my cart there, usually specifically placed, so it would block someone, or at least deter someone from walking through the doorway. Because usually when you're working in one of these bigger buildings, there's more than one doorway to go through. The best example is the double door, the set of double doors, in a corridor or top of the stairs or something like that. And they'll come up and they'll try to squeeze past you in the door you're working in, while the other one is available to use. I never could understand that. So I'd always carry a wedge with me and wedge that other door open, so that they would see that they can walk through that door. This sounds absurd, but this is absolutely the case. And if you were doing doors and hardware, you find this out pretty quick. So I'd wedge the door open so they walk, but still, there was that certain person that would not walk through that open door. They'd have to sneak past you, is the word they would say. And so you're down on your knees, putting something on the door, something on the frame, and this guy is trying to sneak past you, and his crotch is like literally, you know, his sweaty ball sack is literally inches from your face as he's trying to sneak past. So these things would, and I knew, I didn't know him personally, but I knew of another installer that kind of flipped out and actually went to jail because he chased someone down with a screwdriver or something apparently. I only had this story secondhand, but I can fully understand how that could happen. So, you know, and then, you know, so the situation is, pretend that that video doesn't exist. I didn't make that video on my Red channel for the people that don't appreciate that 20-minute long me walking around the workshop type thing. So, same thing for the door, you know. This door that you're trying to walk through, that you're trying to sneak past me through, doesn't exist, all right? There's another door right there. Or there's another door just over there. Go through that one. So there's that. Another thing that I've got happening today, and this is interesting. I made a video about a year ago. Actually, it was in March. So a little over a year ago, I made the video called Steel Dovetails, all right? It's 1.5 minutes long, and I used a piece of music from Kevin MacLeod's Incompetech, royalty-free music, okay? So I used that recording of a piece of music called, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, okay? I haven't even practiced pronouncing it, so I'm not going to try. Anyways, it's like that music from 2001, the da, 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 you know what I mean? And today I got an email from a company called TuneSat, and they are looking to license my usage of that music in the video. So I replied saying, well, first of all, this is a follow-up email. His first email went to spam, so I never even saw it. And so I checked my emails this morning, and then I saw that he already said, and I checked my spam folder, and sure enough, it's in there amongst all the other crap that I get rained down on me. And every other person that does this kind of thing for a living, it's just a steady downpour of crap. So I reply and I say, okay, I got that music from Incompetech, and it's listed in the video description. And then he comes back and says, okay, well, that's all very well and good for usage in North America, but you're not allowed to use that in Europe. You have to geo-block it in Europe so that people in Europe will not be able to watch that video and, you know, see that music on the video or hear the music on the video. So I immediately went to the video and I swapped out the music for something in the YouTube music library, which is possible these days. And then there's no talking in the video at all, so that was easy enough to do. So I did that, and I went back to the guy and I said, okay, no problem. I just took the music off and I put stuff from the library on. So he comes back and he says, that's all well and good, he said, but that doesn't release you from your obligation to pay for a license during the time that that music was on that video. So this is where it's at right now. And I answered him back, and I gave him the stats for the video. It's gotten like 58,000 views, and well, since March last year, and 30% of those are to countries in Europe. So it'd be interesting to see what the reply is and see what kind of a dollar figure they come up with here. I'm sure it's going to be outlandish. I think the video made 75 bucks Canadian. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted on this, and we'll see how much they try to put the arm on me here. Like, I didn't even know that you know, I should have known actually, because Europe is so draconian in that way. They have their own special rules about every little stupid thing. Okay? Peter Strauss, that wrote the music, is long dead. And his copyright claim, or the company that owns the music, it's public domain here. The music is public domain. But not the case over in Europe, of course, because I don't want to go on a rant about Europe, because I know a lot of my viewers are European, and they take offense to that, because people associate people associate themselves with the country that they live in, or the country they were lucky enough or unfortunate enough to be born in. It's like, I don't consider myself Canadian. Technically I'm Canadian, but I don't think of myself as Canadian per se. I'm a human being, you know? I don't mark my self-worth by what someone else did in my country. You know, I mark it by what I do, the things that I accomplish. So that's a whole nother rant there. Anyway, so I think I've about covered it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys posted on the. I'm waiting for him to come back with some insane figure, like, oh, you owe us 2,000 euros or some nonsense like that. I made $75 on the video, so this will be interesting to see, for sure.